Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It is 7 o'clock UK time. Good evening to all of you. It is time. Oh, hang on a second. I've just realized it's only me here now, so we can get back into the shot. A little bit of magic, the crow or the raven. Anyway, good evening, everybody. I've just seen Necro Neil is here. Hello. Just heading back home from that there Leeds. It was lovely to have Neil here. We've actually filmed a podcast episode as well, so hopefully that will be coming up very, very soon. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, too. Let's go through everyone that's here. I tried to put your names up on the screen just now. So we've got Nanette and Jack's Witching Hour. Good evening to you, Nanette. Good evening to Renata. Good evening to Ed, one of our lovely mods. Good evening to Queen 707. Good evening to Patricia, one of our lovely mods. Good evening to Necro Neil, one of our lovely mods. Good evening to Kimberly and everybody else who's watching who hasn't come in and said hello yet. I look very dark, do I? Hang on, let me see if I can. Hang on a second. Right, is that any better? It's just going to brighten my face. I know I've changed the settings, and then when I've just come on the stream, it looks a lot darker than it's supposed to be. So I don't know why. I don't know. One of these days I will get the stream working properly. Just obviously not today. I thought I'd done a really good job as well. But anyway, the resolution isn't my end, Renata. The resolution is at either YouTube's end or with yours. So there's nothing I can do about resolution. It's in standard resolution as it always is. I can't change the resolution on StreamYard. So it's done exactly the same as it always is. So there's nothing I can do about that. I can't change it, can't do anything about it. So it must be either YouTube's issue or it could be your connection, my darling. But there's nothing here that I can do. Right, let me just stick that one on there. Get rid of that one. So then, yes, let's have a look. I think I just saw Flower Beauty pop up. Yes, I did. Good evening, Flower Beauty. Hiya, hope you are well. Right then, wow, what a weekend we've had. What a busy few days it's been. We filmed a podcast episode yesterday. We filmed a witch casket unboxing, which has gone up about half an hour ago, I think. Put a bob in the meter for some light. The light is on. The light, I've just turned it. I can't look. If I put my specs on, you'll see the reflection. Look at that. Look at that reflection. It's right in front of me. I can't put it any brighter. The color isn't down to the brightness. It's down to the white balance. And once we're live, I can't change it. How was the show? Very, very interesting. There's a podcast episode, not all about it, but we talk about sort of that sort of show and events and things that me and Neil have done in the past. So yeah, that should be coming up this week. So keep an eye out for that one. Right. So then I think it's time to let's crack on and get some readings going. Now I have got an incredibly bad back today. So again, I'm not promising we're going to do 2 hours. I will do my best. So then, don't forget, everybody, if you would like a reading, there's a few things to bear in mind. One is that tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. If you're looking for support in those areas, please do seek out professionals in those areas, if that makes sense. The other thing to bear in mind is that a lot of people watch this with family and children and everything else, and I am absolutely not a PG necessarily family channel. If you want to know what I mean, let's do this.
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Yes, indeed. Hopefully that's helped a little bit. I've moved it away from the light a little bit. I can't do it too much because otherwise I won't be in shot myself. But there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. At the moment, there will be a what's it called? A blind going up here that will help control the light a little bit, but this is just how we're streaming today. So unfortunately, if it's an issue, then all I can do is apologize and say that I will see you all on the next stream. So yeah, right then, let me have a look. The white balance it's actually an issue with either StreamYard or YouTube. The white balance is just out of whack. It really is. There's nothing I can do about it. There's no audio visual settings on StreamYard for me to change them. I've got to literally come off the camera, go into Skype in order to do that. How am I doing? I'm very well, apart from my back. But yes, thank you very much, Lynette, for asking. Right, let's go ahead. Let's crack on with some readings because, as I say, I'm probably not going to be on till 9 o'clock. So then, if you would like a tarot reading, what do you have to do to get yourself a reading? Well, the details are on screen right now. So then let me just have a quick look. And have we got questions in already? We have. I'm going to go to whoever this is. Well, yeah, your t-shirt's a bit long for you now, dear. You've lost a lot of weight, Rufus. That's why. Kimberly, it looks like... hang on a second. I've got things on screen and I can't see what your message is. Can I have a general reading? Yes, of course you can, Kimberly, my darling. I'm hoping that... Oh, let me just move the microphone out of shot slightly. There we go. Take the banner off and swap to the other camera. Bizarrely, it was a lot easier when Neil was here. Even though he didn't do anything with the stream, it was it just felt like I had a producer on hand or something. I know, right? Maybe I need to get Rufus just to sit in the chair and do things. I don't know. Oh, my back. My back is really hurting, but we're going to do an hour at least. So then, right then, Kimberly, my love, let me have a look. Hang on. There we go. Right. So, dragons. Good evening to the dragons. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I use elemental energies. I use them and see them in the form of dragons. For the readings, we've got 5. Normally, we only get 1 or 2 on streams. But I do actually have 5 dragons. We've got Tank, who is the... He is the earthbound kind of rocks and healing dragon. We've got Wispy, who is the air dragon. Scarlet is fire. There you go. Laguna is obviously a water dragon. And then we've got our old guy, Rocky, who is in charge of all of them. And he is basically spirit. I still haven't found a better jingle for him. Right then, so let's have a look for Kimberly. Let's have a look, Wispy. So, Kimberly wants a general reading. Let's see if we can do that for you, my darling. So, again, I see a little bit into the past, a little bit into the future. Let's just see what a 3-card reading can get you today. Let's have a look. So then, there we go. Nice, almost middle cut. Wasn't quite, was it? Oh, have you got money worries, Kimberly, or work concerns? Because there's a lot of work, money work stuff going on. So in the immediate past, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Now, if you've never had a tarot reading before, tarot is separated into 2 main sections. You've got the major arcana, which is the big shouty cards, the ones that everybody sees on the television or in films. And we've got the minors, which is what you've got 3 of here. Now, the minors are like the detail cards. So it's a bit like a normal set of playing cards. But instead of going ace 10, jack, queen, king, it goes ace 10, page, knight, queen, king. So, yeah, we've got 2. We've got 1 of those there. The knight. I thought that was a page for a second, but that is the queen. So the knight for me is teenage energy. Now, as you can see, this deck is an incredibly inclusive deck. I absolutely love it. There are people of different races, different ages, different body shapes, different abilities, different gender identities. Absolutely love it across the board. So the Knight of Pentacles, for me, Pentacles is talking about either work, career, finances, or effort, and the amount of effort involved in something. So if it is that you are... How can I put it? If it is that you are having a work issue or a financial issue, then it's saying that in your recent past, perhaps there's either been a little bit of overspending or a little bit of recklessness when it comes down to money and maybe with the work pattern. And it looks like it's something you've become aware of and that you are now changing, Kimberly. The reason I'm saying that is because we've got the Queen of Pentacles in the current position, in your present. Now, this is lovely because the Queen is talking about things growing, things, fulfilling, the seeds coming to fruition, all of that lovely, lovely, lovely growth thing. Right here in the center, look, this person is holding a pot with a lovely seedling in it, and it's waiting just to grow. We've also got a rabbit. You know what rabbit means for the pagans? Oh, yes. You know what rabbits do best, don't you? You put 2 in a cage. It's not like the Spice Girls, 2 become 1. With the rabbits, 2 become 1,000 very, very quickly. So it's about multiplying, but also because it's a queen energy, it's also got a nurturing element. In this case, obviously, it's nurturing the plant life, nurturing the environment, but it can also mean that you have turned a pattern, turned a corner in terms of finances, whatever this behavior was, and now you are trying to nurture your finances, trying to nurture your your money path, your career. So that could be that you're taking things a bit more serious at work. It could be that you started a savings account, something like that. Whatever it is, keep doing it, because I do think there are some hurdles to come. Okay, I can't pick up the cards because of my nails. So we've got the Seven of Swords. Now it is reversed, but I'll show you it upright. For me, the sevens are about losing things. Okay, things being missing from the final picture. So it's a bit like having a jigsaw puzzle and a couple of the pieces missing, even though you've completed the jigsaw puzzle with what you've got. So it's talking about, for me, in the future, it's talking about that issue of maybe having a few problems with and again, this is reversed, so it's kind of something that is coming your way that's not quite known about just yet. So it's not necessarily stuff that you've been doing, but it's almost, how can I tell you what it is? I tell you what it is, Kimberly. It's saying be prepared to have a rainy day fund. Does that make sense? Be prepared to have a slosh fund, because it may well be needed, because it feels like there's going to be an obstacle. So if this is saving money, there's going to be something that needs the money, sort of, you need to be spending. If this is work pattern and you're now doing a lot harder at work, bear in mind that this might be that somebody's going to get a promotion over and above you instead of you. Okay, so just bear that in mind, my darling. But I would absolutely, whilst you're in the present bit with this, put some money to one side, try and get yourself that little cushion, that little safety zone if you can. But there you go. I hope that helps, Kimberly. A very basic 3-card reading is what we do on the channel. So yeah, thank you very much. Don't forget, everybody, if you would like a 7-card reading and to QJump, you can always go just up here, look, where it says buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, so you can go and do that. No problem, Kimberly. That is absolutely lovely. Thank you very much for your question. I'm just trying to click back onto the other camera. There we go. There we go. Fantastic. So yes, thank you very much for that. Right then, I'm going to hit the button again. So if you are ready for a reading, if you would like a tarot reading, you should know what to do by now. Really, just go ahead and put your questions, starting with the word question, into that there live chat. And I will grab one of them as soon as I can, because today is a Tarot Tuesday. Hi, I'm Lisa, a practicing liminal witch and tarot reader with over 28 years experience in helping people find guidance through the cards. On this channel I talk about all sorts of witchy, spooky and mystical things that interest me, and I hope will interest you too. Welcome to Beyond Authentic Witchcraft. This is a Tarot Tuesday. Let's see what the cards will say today. Okay, as always, I don't have the chat up when I'm reading, and all I do is I pop it on when I am looking at it. So sorry, I was just reading. Oh, Kimberly's message. Thank you very much. I just realized I didn't put it on screen. Kimberly says that was spot on. With the past and present, your reading really resonates. Thank you so much. It's good to know your insight for the future too. No problem, Kimberly. That's amazing. Thank you very much for confirming that. That was lovely of you. Right then, so it looks like there's only one question that's come in. Oh no, there's 2 questions that come in. So I think I will do 2 of them. No, I'm going to do Flower Beauty. Queen 707, I'm sure I've read that for you really recently, my darling. Also, Renata, is that Queen card from Tales of the City? I've just put it back in the deck somewhere. So which character would it be from Tales of the City? It's definitely not Anna Madrigal. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've read those books, to be honest. So yes, right, Flower Beauty, this is for you, my darling. Let me hit the doodah. Let me hit the doodah with the card cam. There we go. Wispy, because it's normally Wispy. There we are, my friend. So Wispy, what Flower Beauty here would like to know is what will happen if they start their own business with their brand. I'm sure we've had this question as well. Oh, we've got, is that one? No, it's multiple cards. I thought we had the star then. I got all excited. It doesn't happen very often. Oh, we definitely had a card flip. Did you see it? Oh, the Hermit. The Hermit, Flower Beauty, as your clarifying card. The Hermit, that's interesting. So then let's just bring the camera down a little bit. There we go. So the Hermit, and the Hermit is reversed. So as soon as we get a card that flips, we do the cut, or the drop as I call it, because if you were here in person, you'd cut it, but I just have to drop it. So yes, let me have a look at your 3 cards. Page of Cups, 4 of Wands, and 5 of Pentacles. Right, so the Hermit then, as a clarifying card, first of all, let's flip the card up. Right, so in quite a lot of cards, you can see the Hermit as a cloaked figure carrying a lantern. In this deck, the lantern is metaphorical or metaphysical even, because it isn't actually there. It's an ethereal spirit lantern, if you like. But the lantern, the whole point of the Hermit is seeking answers. And sometimes you have to go off on your own and separate yourself from the wider society to seek those answers. But this is reversed, which means I don't think it's something that either comes naturally to you being on your own, Flower Beauty, or whether it's something that this card is saying for you to not do that. So it depends on what the business is. If it's something where you're interacting with people, then it really is probably a case of, you know, not being a hermit, not kind of distancing yourself from, you know, the populace and your people, your tribe. But by the same token, just be a little bit aware, because this is talking about seeking the truth, right? And for me, the Hermit can sometimes, when it's reversed, can sometimes be a case of you've got the truth, you just don't want to face it. Okay, so just be a little bit aware about that, because it could point to something that maybe there's a little bit of fantasy going on with the wanting your own business. So maybe just keep yourself really super grounded with that. So then let's look at the past. We've got the Page of Cups. I'll show it upright. It is reversed. So this Page of Cups, the cups are actually balloons. So in this one, it looks like we've got an octopus. I don't know whether you can see that. Is that going to focus? It's like you can see the eyes and you can see the tentacles. And in this one here, we've got the infinity symbol and perhaps a fish. It's really hard to focus. So the 2 cups here, it's just representing the water elements. But what we do have is young, youthful energy, okay? Because the page is about, for me, the knight is teenage energy, and the page is very youthful, innocent, naive energy. So just bear with me just 1 second. I just need to slurp a coffee. There we go. Hopefully it's going to help my throat. My throat's a little bit ropey today as well as my back, because I overdid it on the weekend, because of course I did. But yes, so the page coming up in the past, I think that's talking about there being this naivety and almost like you're unwilling to admit it. So if there is something from the, you know, from starting a business and with a brand, if there is something here that it's like a bit of a pipe dream, then that's what this card is relating to, because it's that sort of thing where everybody wants to be a YouTuber. And people want, you know, people in school are now saying on career day, I want to be a YouTuber, which is great. But do you know how many millions of YouTube channels there are that aren't even monetized? Like this one, we're not monetized. Yes, we've over 1,000 subscribers now, but we haven't got enough watch time to be monetized, because again, with videos like this, people jump in and jump out. And it's great to have people here, but it doesn't work very well with the algorithm. So it's about things like that. So this is almost that wishing rather than acting, if that makes sense. Now in the present, we've got the Four of Wands. Now the Four of Wands is, for me, it's a very stable card. Fours are like the four corners of what this would be a furnace, obviously, but the four corners of a table, four legs of a chair. Think of it like that. It's something which has to be quite stable. Now, the Wands for me is about your confidence, your self-esteem. And I think you've got it. I think you are quite, you know, you're doing okay in terms of self-esteem and confidence, but I don't think it's a very, there's no movement here. So it's almost like, and I'm sure you've asked a similar question to this before, Flower Beauty, because it doesn't feel like there's any movement. The thing to bear in mind with the fours is they can become very stagnant very easily. Okay, so even though we've got this fire energy, which for me is probably the most life-affirming energy in the deck of the four, the earth, air, fire, water energies, because earth is fire is alive. It's a living thing. It can replicate itself. It eats effectively. It consumes a fuel. It gives off, you know, it changes energy. It does all the things that a living thing would be, apart from sentience. So it is a wonderful, wonderful element, but it doesn't feel as if your spark is moving anywhere, because the four's quite stagnant. So, and again, with hermit energy, it feels, I would say, Flower Beauty, that with the best will in the world, my darling, nothing's going to happen if nothing happens. You've got to make things happen. So instead of asking tarot, and instead of asking, like, will this happen? Will this happen? What will happen? Make it happen, because at the moment it's just a fantasy, if that makes sense. Especially because in the immediate future, now Pentacles, as I said before, is work, career, finances. The Five is talking about change. The Five is talking about there being quite a significant change happening, and that's something that I think you really do need to sort of bear in mind. It's neither positive nor negative, in all honesty. It's basically saying that there has to come, well, actually, that's not necessarily true that it's not positive or negative, because this deck has got some quite interesting vibes. Now, although this is one of those sort of mileage marker things, there's a name for it where they build the rocks, and I can't remember because I've had a bonkers weekend. There's this element here, look, of kind of it being a milestone, but it almost looks like a gravestone. And it's almost, especially with this sort of cross that's here, it almost feels like this milestone marker has almost become a gravestone. So I don't know whether this is saying that the dream is already dead. I don't know whether this is saying that it hasn't got much sort of energy to it right now. Because to start a business, listen, right? I did an event this weekend. Financially, not very great. In terms of everything else, though, I've now got everything I need to do lots more events. So even though this one wasn't particularly like financially beneficial for me, it proved a lot of points, proved that I can do this. I had somebody come to me because they went to a different reader and they weren't very happy with the reading. So all the way through, the readings I did over the weekend were absolutely great. And it was one of those things that gave me the assurance that, yes, this is my path. Yes, this is what I need to be doing, blah, blah, blah. Financially, crap. But it gave me that assurance, right? And this card, it almost feels like for you, if you'd done the same event, if you'd done the same thing where you'd spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds getting ready for it, and then made a significant loss in terms of this one event, then it feels like that would be a holdback for you. Whereas the way I look at it, I've invested all of this stuff. I've now got the pop-up banners, the leaflets, the flyers, all of that stuff sorted. So I can now pack up and do an event anywhere. I wouldn't have done that had I not had a kick up the bum by doing this event. Does that make sense? And it's almost like I will look at this event as being, yeah, it wasn't financially successful. I barely broke even on the cost of being at the event, let alone all the external, all the other costs that I had to deal with. But do you know what? I got to meet the mods all in person. We got some great photos, and it was really lovely to hang out with the mods. It's really made me very confident about my positioning within the tarot market and how there is an absolute need for authenticity, blah, 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 all of that. So if this was me in that situation, I would look at this not as a gravestone, even though potentially that's what it's trying to represent, especially with this sort of looks like rib cages here and this cross. I would look at this as a milestone marker. And yeah, look, it's raining, it's sleeting, it's grey, there's snow on the ground. This is not a lots of summer energy. But what I would say to you, my darling, is look, this 4 ain't going to get you nowhere. This stagnation ain't going to get you nowhere, right? Move it forward. Think of if you've done any work for your business already and it hasn't gone great, well, just think of it as a life lesson. Think of it as something that I don't know, think of it as something you've invested that time and learning some lessons, okay? And you've invested that money in yourself, because if you've still got a brand, if you've done the design work already, even if it's only in your head or on a Photoshop on your laptop, it's done. Some of that work is already done. So moving it forward, it feels like you just need to kick up the bum, and you need to, I really, really, really honestly think that this card is saying, look, you've got a choice here. You can either look at this as a funeral rock thing, whatever that's called, or as a milestone marker. For me, I would choose this like a milestone marker. Okay, my darling. And this Hermit card, I think you're too closed in with it. I think you're doing this in too much of a vacuum. It's like, get out there, put your big girl pants on, or whatever they say, get out there, pull your socks up, and just get your Facebook page sorted out. Get your, what is it? What's the new one called that I keep forgetting? Threads. Get your Threads account downloaded. Do all of that and start doing. I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really do. Right, let me change the camera back, and then I will go up to the no, there we go. Go up to the comments. No, that one. Thank you. That was like time ago. What was time ago? I don't know what that means. But if you spent time on the business, I can't tell you whether you should or shouldn't, Flower Beauty. I can't tell you that. What the cards are literally saying is that you've done some work, and at the moment you're stagnating. You need to decide whether that 5 of Pentacles, is that a funeral card or is that a milestone marker? I can't make up that decision for you. You make all your own decisions in your own life. But that is either one or the other. And you've got to decide what it is, my darling. You've got to decide what it is. You can look, no overnight success comes without many, many, many overnight and long-standing failures, right? That's just the nature of the beast. So what I would say is, if you still got a passion for whatever that business is, do it, try it. Maybe don't throw all your money into it. Maybe, keep yourself covered. Maybe do it as a part-time thing, is starting off, whatever that is for you. But that 5 of Pentacles, is that going to be the headstone for your business or the mile marker? That's for you to decide, my darling. It's not for me to say, because the card can go either way. Hopefully that helps. Your old business was a long time ago. Okie dokie. Then either resurrect it or do something similar or start over again. The reason businesses fail could be millionfold. Could be wrong place, wrong time. If it's a physical shop, it could be lots of people in the same space. If it's an Etsy shop, say, I don't know, say if you sell tumblestones on Etsy, right? Little tumblestones. It could be that you sell this tumblestone for $3 and somebody else on Etsy does it as a hobby and they sell this tumblestone for $1.50. Customers are more likely to buy the one that's cheaper, even though that's a hobby business, instead of buying it from you that's a thriving, need to pay your bills business. And all of that you need to take into account when you're doing business. But I am absolutely not I am absolutely not a business advisor, financial advisor. I would say to get some financial advice. You meant to ask, are the cards positive or negative? Neither. You had an upright, a reversed, and the 5, which can go either way. So literally, it depends on you, Flower Beauty. This all depends on you. I think at the moment, that 4 is very stagnant. That fire is going out, if that makes sense. And you need to reset the coals, put new logs on that fire and get it burning again if you're going to go that road, or sack it off. Don't waste your time. Say that you gave the business a go, it wasn't for you, and go and work at ... add American, or I think you're in America, add business here. So I don't know, Walmart. What other businesses are there in America? I can't think. Go and work at Google. There you go, because I've got a Google thing in front of me. So yeah, go do that. If you know, owning a business and making a business thrive is bloody hard. So yeah. Anyway, my darling, I hope that helps. No worries, my darling. I really do hope that helps. But thanks ever so much for your question. Right then, everybody, let's go ahead and start another round. We'll open the round again. So to request a reading, all you need to do is start with the word question, then get yourself, then put your question into the live chat. I will then grab random questions at random. So literally, without my specs on, it was really funny because they will tell you, the mods that are in the chat will tell you, without me specs on, just how bloody useless I am. So I had to get, you might have even seen it. In fact, the members only, I've just put together some of the behind the scenes of the witch casket video, right? It's going to go up on the members only space. So members will get to see me trying to read things and struggling and all of that, even with me specs on. So when I say that I can't see the screen without me gogs on, I can barely see the screen with them on. So take it as fact, because I need to get my new prescription done. But anyway, you don't need to know all of that. All you need to do, put your question in the live chat, starting with the word question, and we'll go from there.
We have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God!
God, indeed. Sometimes when you do this, sometimes when you read, right, you can get some amazingly accurate things that come up, especially, well, I would say especially the way I do it, but it's definitely the way I do it. I had a thing this weekend where one of the, there we go. I've got you, Queen 707. I've got your question. I had a thing this weekend where somebody's reading. I was like, it feels like I can see you with family out in front of like somewhere like Disneyland or not Euro Disney, I said Disneyland or Disney World, in front of one of those castles, and one person in the party's like this, really doesn't want to be there, really miffed off. I said, so I don't know if there's a holiday being booked. And she went, oh my God, we're going to Euro Disney in 3 weeks' time. I was like, well, there you go. She went, how the hell did you know that? And I went, I don't know. I could just see this group of 3 or 4 people with the pink sort of, you know, the foofy princess castle in the background. I said, and one of them's looking really miffed. I said, now, in my mind, pink foofy castle means Disney. It doesn't mean anything else. I said, so that's why I said it. And she was like, oh my God, Lisa, you're so accurate. That's really scary. But yeah, it was fun. So yeah, so that happens. Right. What is this? What? Hang on. I can't read. Let me go back to the comments page where it's highlighted in white on blue, which is easier to read for me for some reason. So then, is being an author my destined job and life purpose? Like, is it something I am meant to do in this lifetime? That's a really interesting question, Queen. I tell you what, I'm going to change camera. I'm also going to just shift position slightly on this chair because my back is really really screaming at me. It's really screaming at me. It really screams at me. Hang on a second. Oh, God. Oh. No, hang on. There we go. Oh, right. I'm now wedged into the table, but at least I can actually see a little bit clearer. I hope that was my skirt that just touched my foot. I don't think it was anything else. But they'll tell you as well, the mods will tell you how many times this weekend I turned around and there was somebody having reflexology and I nearly screamed the place down. Oh, I do not like feet. I did not think I would have so many feet and socks in my face. Well, they weren't in my face. But, oh, lovers. Right. Okay. Thank you, Wispy. And I didn't even ding me bell then, did I? Thanks, Wispy. So, the lovers, what does that mean, Queen 707? Does it mean that you have to go in, like, become an author with your other half? No. What the lovers is, right? This is actually a wonderful version of the card. Look what this is. This is the same person, right? We've got, I don't know whether you can quite see. There you go, just about. You see the wings, the metaphysical, metaphorical wings, the ethereal wings, linked to the heart here in the center. This is as much about loving yourself as it is lovers in terms of being with a partner. So this is really talking about, look, if your heart's desire is to write a book, right? If your actual self and your shadow self, if that is what you are wanting to do, if that is what is going to answer that eternal question, then abso-friggin-lutely. If the desire, I mean, bearing in mind, being an author is a bloody hard job, okay? Especially making it work. I know people that have published various books, either self-published or actually through quite reputable publishing houses. Somebody for their niche book in a non-fiction was in the bestseller range for their niche, didn't make any money out of it. So it all depends. All depends. What you have to do though, if you try and tell yourself, oh, actually, I don't want to write a book, I'm not going to be an author, but that niggling thing does not leave you. If that is your calling, then absolutely, that's why the lovers is coming up. If it's your heart's desire with scarlet energy there, the fire, if it makes you go, if it is literally the thing that is absolutely above everything else, it is that one thing that you absolutely do and you've got no choice in, and you sit and write in notebooks even when you're not actually kind of, you know, making any money from it, then at that point that's telling you that it's your thing, if that makes sense. Yes, indeed. If that is your magic, if that is what you are destined for, and it won't leave you, then absolutely, my darling. Right, let's do a 3 card just to confirm. That lovers card, though, I'm telling you, I don't even need to do a 3 card. I'm going to, because I think you now know the answer yourself, in all honesty, right? So 1, 2, 3. Oh, shit. Oh, that's my phone. I wondered what that was. Oh dear. Sorry everyone, I didn't have my phone on silence. Oh, that made me jump. That made me jump. Gosh, I was like, I didn't even press a button on my little machine here. I could have gone like this. But it wasn't. Right, so past the 7 of Wands. Wands is all about your sense of security and confidence, right? As we know, the 7s normally, but a couple of things are missing. So this is coming up reversed, right? So it's basically saying, look, what you need to do, if this is your heart's desire, right, and you're feeling a little bit lackluster about it at the moment, then that's what this card will be relating to. Because look, we're talking about 7 wands. 3 of them have become burning torches. different though. Each one looks different. This is in the middle, this is at the ends, and this is twisted. We've got one that's being used as a is it a billy club they call it, when you kind of hit it and you go bang bang bang, that one. And one is just being ripped from the branch, and then this one's been turned into like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer stake or spike or something. So all of these ones have been damaged in some way, apart from this one that has been damaged but is being repaired, is a little bit worse for wear, but is still producing flowers. So there is still life, there is still hope. But because this has come up reversed, I think either you've given it a crack in the past and been rejected, or you've, you know, self-published and not made any money or something like that. It feels like there's something missing from it in the past. Now, there are plenty of author workshops and things, and writers' workshops and groups and all of that stuff out there on the internet that you can go along to if you have lost your mojo for it. But if it's this, if it is your heart's desire, then reframe this. Just say you've learned some lessons. Maybe your first book wasn't very good. I tried to write a book once. It was bloody terrible. That showed me books are not my bag, baby. You know, like reading them, maybe not the best person to write them. I can just about manage a short story-ish, like very short. In the present, judgment. So are you judging yourself too harshly here? Is this you judging yourself, or are you saying, because this book didn't sell 300,000 units and didn't make me in the New York bestsellers book list, because that didn't happen, well, now I'm going to give up? Because this judgment is basically calling, you've got two major arcana cards in a 4-card reading, right? One is talking about following your heart's desire, what floats your boat and tickles your pickle. If that is this writing malarkey, then absolutely do it. The other one is judgment. This is kind of saying, look, at the end of days, right, when you meet your maker, or when you go to the Summerlands, or when you cross over the Rainbow Bridge, or whatever the hell it is, your version of it, when you end up in Valhalla, whatever it is, right, Mordor, whatever, Sto-Vo-Kor, there we go, let's go with the Klingon version. If you end up in Sto-Vo-Kor, right, and they sing songs about your victories, which is what happens in the Klingon afterlife, oh my god, I'm such a geek. I really, really, really am. Anybody would think I was into Star Trek or something, you know what I mean? Wow. This judgment is really interesting, right? On your end of days, when you have to reconcile, if you've got a talent and you gave up because either it was too hard, or because there was too much against you, or because you didn't sell 1 million books in the first week, whatever it is, then this judgment card is for you, because it's literally saying, look, just keep persevering. This is where you're meant to be, so keep persevering. Keep at it. Like, don't give up a dream. I always say, right, a dream and a wish, they're great, but turn it into a goal, because a goal is something you can work towards. A dream, a wish, is just an ethereal thing. A dream disappears when you wake up. A wish is something you throw in a fountain. You know what I mean? Make it a goal and work towards it, my darling. The future, it feels like there's a new beginning coming your way in this. So I don't know whether this is the kick up the arse you need, my darling, but it feels like you need a kick up the bum. So what I would say is, start anew. And you might have to scrap an entire, how can I say, you might have to scrap an entire blooming character, or an entire storyline, or an entire series, or whatever it is. You might have to scrap it, and that feels really horrible. You might have to just give up the idea of being self-published and keep going to all the publishing houses, whatever it is, or vice versa. But oh gosh, excuse me, but there is something here 100% that if this is where your heart's desire is, this is the emotional suit, then absolutely follow it, because it absolutely looks like this is a calling. This is a calling. In the same way, and I'll reveal something this weekend, right? I have the details of somebody who teaches mediumship and spirit talking and all of that. And I have been speaking to him over the weekend, and I'm going to be contacting him and learning how to do that side of things as well. Okay, my darling. So I absolutely 100% am going to be doing that at some point later in the year. And again, this is that thing. If it's something you've got so much desire for, so much passion for, then find a way to restart it, give it a kick up the bum, and make a move. I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. It looks like if these cards are right, then it is absolutely your passion, which means do not give up on it. Do not give up on it. Rewrite, recycle, reuse, and keep going until somebody listens. And if that means self-publishing, self-publish. What was the book series that was it started off as a fanfic of Twilight? Was that 30 Shades? I think it was maybe 30 Shades, because I think it must be 30 Shades. It started off as a fanfic that somebody wrote just as a hobby, and it ended up becoming this enormous thing. I'm sure it was 30 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey, not 30 Shades. I've never read it. You can tell, can't you? But yeah, it was 50 Shades. So what do you say in the chat? You used to have a passion for it, but now you have doubts because you don't know whether you'll make enough money from it or if you'll even be successful. I know plenty of authors, right? One of them wrote for BBC Books for Doctor Who, wrote several Doctor Who books, and he still had a day job all the way through and still does. And any money he made from his books was kind of like a bit of a bonus. And he wrote a few of the Doctor Who BBC books. So yeah, guess you should start bringing back your passion. Absolutely bring back your passion. We want to see fire. We want to see we want to see all of fire. We want everything to be absolutely amazing. We want to feel the magic. That's what we want. That is what we want in life, right? Bring the magic back. Go do it. Oh, I'm glad it did. You read it. It was for what? It was what? Oh, it was crap. Okay. Is that 50 Shades you mean? Or 30 Shades? Yeah. Maybe I read 30 Shades. I tell you what I did read. That was really good. 50 Shades of Grey. It was just 50 pictures of grey of sheds in black and white. That was an amazing book, and it's a genuine book. Have a look for it on Amazon or eBay, because it's an absolutely genuine book. 50 Shades of Grey, fantastic. Absolutely cannot put it down. It was just pictures of sheds. I did like it though. I thought it was funny. Anyway, right. Shall we do another one? Shall we do? I tell you what. Shall we have, for old time's sake, let's have a bit of a like spike. I'll go on the back end in a second. That sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. I'll go in the back end and I'll see how many likes there are. So let's hit that like button if you haven't done already. Hit that thumbsy uppy. Let's have a glorious like spike. Glorious. I'm trying to get on the back end. It's telling me we've had 0 views. Well, I know that's not right. Thank you, YouTube. Come on, are we going to update this? Hang on. I've refreshed the page. I've refreshed the doodah. No, it says there are no likes. What? That can't be right. That can't be right. Surely we've got to have some likes. Even one. Even one. Even the mods. And the mods must have liked it. Maybe not. Maybe not. Well, according to the back end on my screen, I've got no likes. But yeah, thank you, everyone. Oh, Ed. Ed is reading a book about anti-gravity. He just can't put it down. That's bad. That is bad. Bad. Oh, no worries, Queen. I hope that helps, my darling. Get writing. Oh, you've liked it, Shivani. Oh, Shivani's here. Good evening, Shivani. Patricia says you can see 12. Right. Oh, we've got 10 from Belinda. Didn't see Belinda coming either. Good evening, Belinda. Anya, didn't see you coming either. Nonsense. You're seeing 13. There is nothing on the back end of it. Hang on a second. Let me go into the actual. Let me go into it, into the analytics. No, it's still telling me I've got 0 likes. There's 98 total chat messages though, so you're all talking amongst each other, but I've got 0 likes. When I say that I can't see it, I genuinely mean, hang on, no, there's nothing. No likes yet. It doesn't show up on the back end yet. So yeah, I think I have to go and actually look at it on the main YouTube, which means you'll be able to hear me talking about it. No problem, my darling. Hello to you. Right then, let's go ahead and get some questions on the books. We might only be going for a little while longer because my back is really hurting now. But go ahead, put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question so that I can see it. And yeah, go ahead and do that right now. I will pull one at random after this.
Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necroneil.
There we go. Don't know what happened there, but anyway, thank you very much. Right, let's have a look. I'm clicking on. Oh, that's not even a question. Excuse me. Well, if you ever questioned whether or not I can see the blooming chat, I couldn't even see that it didn't have a question on. So the Blood Rose Horror Nightmare. I mean, welcome, Blood Rose Horror Nightmare. I don't know who you are, but hello, good evening to you. Yeah, there's 14 likes on your end. Well, thank you very much, my darling. I thought you had a question, but there wasn't a question. So thank you very much. In next one, I'm jumping is Shivani Radhakrishnan. Shivani, my darling, hello. Right, how will your life be after marriage? Interesting. Let's have a look at that for you then. So I will change the camera. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. I don't know what that is I'm singing, but I hope it's copyright free. Otherwise, we'll get claimed and then there'll be adverts. But I won't make any money from the adverts because we are not monetized or something like that. Right, where's my bell gone? There's my bell. Right then, let's have a look. How will your life be after marriage? Wispy, my friend. Shivani would like to know. How will life be after marriage? Depends. I think if you live together already, Shivani, it'll probably be very similar to now. Do you know what I mean? Because like this is why a lot of people choose not to get married, because at the end of the day, largely it's a piece of paper. You know, some countries have tax breaks. Some countries there's a social kind of, what's it called? Not social. What's it called? Not social, but like a cultural significance around marriage. So yeah, I think largely though these days for many people, marriage is just a piece of paper. Unless you're in America, and then I believe there's like major tax breaks. I don't know about here in the UK. I don't know how our tax system works. It's all a bit rubbish. Right, let's have a look. Oh, Queen of Swords, Three of Wands, and the Sun all are reversed. Right, okie dokie. Let's have a look at what this means, my darling. So first up, the Queen of Swords so this won't be past, present, future. This will be where your situation is. Yeah, no, what your situation is, what the main obstacles will be, and how to overcome them. Okay, so where your situation would be. We've got the Queen of Swords. Now, this could be one of two things, Shivani. This could be a mother-in-law or mother type figure. It's that sort of one generation back kind of that vibe with queens quite often, or it could be you becoming the queen of the marriage, if you like. But what you've actually got is the Queen of Swords. So the Queen is talking about obstacles and challenges, or rather the Swords is. Now, look, in this instance, we've also got a butterfly, which represents the elemental energy of air. So it's saying that, yeah, there could be some issues, there could be some trouble and strife, there could be some obstacles and challenges to overcome in marriage, or it could well mean that you're, I mean, are you planning a marriage at the moment, Shivani? Because it could well be that the mother-in-law or your mother might have some issues with it, because it is reversed and because this is an obstacle suit. In the present, we're looking at the obstacle position. So we've gone from the obstacle suit to the obstacle position. We've got the 3 of Wands. Now, it is reversed, but I'll show you it this way up. So for me, Wands is all about security and confidence. 3s are representing family or like a connection with a wider community. And this is one of those things that this is one of those things that's really kind of difficult to read, because if you are looking for children, if you're wanting children in the marriage, it could well be that there might be a little bit of difficulty having that happen. Not saying that it's not going to happen, but the reversal could be a little bit of difficulty there. But it could also mean that, again, if this queen is in-law kind of energy, then it could well be that there's going to be an issue maybe with the in-laws, and that obstacle is talking about not so much blending families, but you know how sometimes, you know, like the mother-in-laws can be really protective over their children and nobody's ever good enough. Likewise, if this is your mother, it could be that your mum's really protective over you, and therefore, you know, your husband or wife to be isn't quite up to snuff in their eyes. Do you know what I mean? So it's something around that acceptance of family or community in a small level, not community in like the whole village or the whole town, the whole city, but in a small level. Does that make sense? And then in the future, so this would not the future, how to overcome this obstacle, we do have the sun. Now, the sun for a lot of people, again, this is reversed, but the sun for a lot of people is talking about new life. So it's, for me, it's about growth and all of that loveliness, but it can also mean new life, because life gives, you know, the sun gives life to earth. So in this instance, we've got a couple with a puppy. So that represents the new life. Over here, right in the background, there's a family with a child flying a kite. So that represents new life for that particular family. The sunflowers are here. We've got flowers. There's all sorts of symbology going on, but largely it's talking about, like, it's talking about the, how can I put it? It's talking about growth and family life. Now, if this is reversed, it's saying that the outcome is almost to, I wouldn't say to not grow, but the way, not the outcome, the way to overcome the obstacle is to basically just concentrate on your family. Does that make sense? And like when you get married, or if you get married, then concentrate on you and your partners, your husband's you and your husband as a family, and concentrate on that, and maybe not worry so much about this, particularly if this is in-law energy, then this absolutely ties up, right? So if it is a family, if you're in a relationship now and you're talking about marriage and it's the future in-laws, if that's what this is relating to, then the advice is literally, look, get the wedding done and dusted, and then kind of, if you have to keep yourself to yourself a little bit within the marriage, then you know, do that. If it's kind of like you and your husband to be, I think you are sort of into guys, then if your husband to be, kind of like that's going to be your focus on your husband, not necessarily his mother-in-law, his aunties and all the rest of it. Again, culturally, I know there's a lot of significance with families, but if they don't accept you, then there's, you know, perhaps there's no changing their mind on that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I hope that helps a little bit. It feels like there's going to be a few hurdles to overcome. But again, do you know what? Hang on, let me just, here we go. From another story from Lisa's own family tree. Here we go. My dad was always felt, put it that way, always felt that my aunts and my grandma looked down on him, and that he wasn't good enough somehow for my mum. But actually, it's funny enough, because I was talking to Neil about this over the weekend. My dad was actually a pretty decent bloke. Do you know what I mean? He was the sort of person that would do right by you. He would never like try and cheat anyone or do any harm. And actually, he was a decent, honourable guy. And you know, we didn't always have the best of relationships, but he was a really good, solid bloke. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, surely the way I look at it now, I think, you know, they say that the sort of girls always look to their fathers for, you know, relationships. I think the reason I found such an honest, solid bloke in Rufus, as you know, my husband, if you like, is because my dad gave me a male role model that was a decent, honest bloke. And that's what I've got with Rufus, a decent, honest, caring bloke. And I think my family looked down on my dad because he didn't come from money. And like, we didn't come from money, but my other areas of my family always wanted more and more money, more status, more class, more whatever. And we never cared about that, because for us, it was just, you know, we're a good, honest family that sticks together. And for me, that's more important than any of the other bollocks. Do you know what I mean? So if you and your husband to be are solid, and you are, you know, in it for the right reasons, and you love each other, and you care, and you're compassionate with each other, that is the most that counts, right? And that son is actually positive energy in the sort of how to overcome everything. It's just basically saying, look, the very best form of revenge is happiness. It absolutely is, my darling. And I hope that helps. Right, let me just click on the comments, see if you put a comment on. I am going to end here, everyone, because I am struggling with my back. I don't know whether you can see, I'm shrinking back down in the shot. You're not very fond of the in-laws. Oh, so there is in-laws. Yay! There is definitely in-law energy there. You find them very conservative. Yeah, I mean, I all I can say there, my darling, is what that sun card was saying. Like, concentrate on your other half. Concentrate on, you know, that supporting each other and all of that. And at the end of the day, make your own family unit your own family unit. It doesn't have to look like your in-laws family or your family or 4 generations ago family. Your family unit can look exactly like your family unit, right? Just do that, my darling, and sod the rest, really. That's what I would say. But that is going to be it, I think, everyone. I'm so sorry. I am really struggling with the pain tonight. I think this weekend took out on me more than I realized. But yeah, I am going to call it a day here. So thank you very much to the mods. Thank you to everybody that's come on. I'm really sorry if you didn't get a question answered tonight. I will do my best. Well, I will be here on Sunday. I'm still going to try and do an extra. Oh, thank you, Nanette. I'm still going to try and do like an extra hour-long stream sometime before now and Sunday as well. So yeah, hopefully you'll be able to join me for that. Make sure you hit your subscribe button and ding your bell. Let me just double check over on Buy Me a Coffee that nobody's bought a coffee and I've ignored them. No, that's fantastic. Right, so I am going to end it there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to the mods. You get a bit of an early night, everyone. And yeah, thank you ever so much. I will see you all very, very soon. And as we always say on this channel, stay you, stay true, stay authentic. And don't forget, what's the new one? Roll Tide. See you soon.